It's new Switch time. While we still have to wait a couple weeks for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to launch, Nintendo has already released the limited edition Scarlet and Violet Nintendo Switch OLED. I was able to get my hands on one. Design is super colorful in all the imagery. I'm always curious to see how pictures kind of translate over compared to real life though. The boxing is pretty simple. We've got just, showing off the dock and controller right here, the legendaries for Scarlet and Violet with Koraidon and Miraidon, and lots of just print designs of all the starters throughout the box, and then just a couple little shots of what the system looks like. It's pretty in pictures. Let's see it in person. Now, this is the second limited edition Switch OLED that has come out, and is the fourth Switch Special Edition that is based around Pokemon. I've actually been able to pick up all of those, and I think I'm gonna do a little roundup of all of them together, so if you wanna see that, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Here we go. I'm gonna start with the JoyCons. So playing along with the title and theme of Scarlet and Violet, everything here is in those colors. The Scarlet is pushing a little closer to orange, but it does still have that kind of intense red hue going on, orange and grape, which is actually even what's on the little symbols here. So for the Joy-Cons, the front symbols are references to the schools that you're a part of in the main game. Depending on which game you get, you're part of a different school. So here's the symbol for in Scarlet, the symbol for in Violet. And on the back is part of the print design that we're gonna see running across the entire body of the Switch OLED itself. Funny enough, for these ones, they are featuring starters. Both of them have Fuecoco and Sprigatito, while Quaxley is just completely missing. So maybe he'll have a couple extra prints on the Switch body itself. Let me just set those aside for now. I really like how those colors turned out. I wonder, did they use a different plastic for this actually? Because it does feel like a slightly rougher, different plastic than Joy-Cons normally have. There's kind of a smoothness, and this has a little extra roughness to it actually. Huh, I wonder if the body's gonna feel different too. Now this is, again, the second special edition Switch OLED they've released, and the first one that I've actually grabbed. I missed out on the Splatoon 3 one, so this is my first time unboxing one. Ooh. Okay, I like how this works out. So something interesting about how Switch OLED special editions work out versus special editions they did for the regular Switch is that the kickstand ends up kind of both working out a little better, but also still being a little bit in the way. On older Switches, it would just be like a solid color and would just interrupt the entire pattern. That was annoying. With the OLED, since the kickstand is this full bottom part of the body, they're able to kind of just do the full design around it, which definitely looks better. We're gonna do a quick starter count here. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3 Quaxleys on the back, 2 Sprigatitos, and 2 Fuecoco. So in total, there are more Fuecocos and Sprigatitos than there are Quaxley. I am sorry, Quaxley fans. As a Firestarter fan though, I'm okay with this. There's 4 Quaxleys. I saw the 3 that are orange, but I missed this one in the corner. So there's 4 of each of them. I really gotta say, one of the things about this that I like just right off the bat is while it is going with the regular black body design that we see on a lot of Switch systems, I'm glad there is a lot more color going on with the pattern itself. Obviously, this is a very bright pattern and it plays really well with the blacks where there's that little bit of contrast going on. A lot of past Switch special editions, and I'll show this in a video where I'm going over all the different ones, they relied a lot on this kind of black print approach where you just had matte and gloss alternating and you couldn't really see what the pattern was on the body. Definitely not the case with this OLED. This is very colorful, and I love the look of it. You guys have probably seen power cables and HDMI before, probably don't need to see that part of this, but the dock design. So keeping in line with the regular Switch OLED, the dock itself is white as well. The Switch OLED did come with a black design as well, but let's face it, white is definitely the one that people are associating with the OLED specifically. Oh, okay, this is actually a little different than I expected. So there's kind of a plate and texture going on here. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that on camera, but normally the texturing of the dock has this kind of rough matte plastic feel, but there's actually a gloss finish that's much more reflective and smooth going on for the front of this dock. Again, like we saw on the cover of the box, we've got the 2 in-game legendaries, Koraidon for Scarlet, Miraidon for Violet. Any other branding we got? Oh, this is a fun little thing. I actually didn't notice this in any of the promotional images before. You got a little quarter of a Pokeball here. Just right for that little section. That's a smart, I mean, that's one of those little fun things where most people aren't gonna see it because how often in your setup do you have the back of your Switch, showing off? I like that. That's just a nice little detail. I appreciate little things like that. Oh, and then the Nintendo Switch name has moved to the top of the dock right here, while we actually don't have any direct Switch branding on the front. It's just the Pokemon stuff going on. I also like that because this is a Pokemon brand Switch, it actually has to have the copyright and legal info at the bottom of the back. All right, let's go ahead and actually put this together now. So you've got the main Switch, Violet on the right, Scarlet on the left. Front looks good, really simple, kind of just clean look. You just have the colors for the Joy-Cons and the logos at the bottom. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, it is busy. I really do like the way this whole pattern comes across. You know, I was telling myself I was gonna like stick with my regular Switch OLED, but I really am liking the way this looks. And I'm going between that thought of, do I make this my main because it's pretty, or do I very carefully put it back in the way in the box because I want to preserve it as long as I can? Yeah, that's actually really nice the way that works out too. They made sure that the matching legendaries are on the same side as the matching Joy-Cons. Obviously the back print isn't as noticeable in this whole situation. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Look, I have definitely been critical of Switch special editions in the past, and while I do think there is still a higher ceiling that Nintendo isn't quite really getting into just yet, this and a couple of the other more recent ones like this Splatoon design really are showing signs of growth that I'm happy to see. Still waiting for the day they get a little freakier with docks, but this is a very pretty special edition Switch. So again, this is the 4th Pokemon special edition we've had. They've basically done one for every major game release aside from Arceus, however you want to pronounce it. And I think I want to kind of have them in a little lineup and talk about the history of that. So if you want to check out that video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. This thing is pretty.